So, this is the tutorial for the CMS Broadcasting ID template for Premiere Pro. How can you use this template? After you download the folder, you will find two important folders and just one example video. The most important folder we will be using is the Mogurts folder. Inside here we have all the templates that will be imported into Premiere Pro. We also have this other files folder. The first thing we need to do in order for us to use this template is to install the fonts. The fonts are inside the other files folder and inside the fonts folder. We have 4 fonts we need to use in order for our template to work inside Premiere Pro. So after installing those fonts, we can now open Premiere Pro. So in Premiere Pro, you may have some different windows or workspaces you are actually used to work with. This is mine, but it's a little bit different from the usual. But the most important thing we may need in this workspace is this window right over here, the Essential Graphics window. It is in this window that we will be importing the templates. For you to see this window, you may go to Window and then search for Essential Graphics. Or to facilitate for us, let's go to Workspaces and then search for Graphics Workspace. This Graphics Workspace has everything we need in order for us to use the template. So, let's import some videos for us to mess with later. I have selected a few ones right here, some stock videos, just for us to have something if we need to use them while using the template. Right here on the project, we don't need to import the Mogurt files in this window right here. Actually, what we will be going to do is going to the Essential Graphics window right over here and then search for this button, this button right here at the corner. It's called Install Motion Graphics Template. It's this button we need in order to install the templates. So let's click on them and then open our Mogurt file, right? So those are the files that you have downloaded. We may now have to install each one of them because Premiere Pro doesn't allow you to install a pack all at once. So let's install each one of them individually, but it's pretty fast. Let's start with the intro and click open. So in my case, it's saying that the file already exists. In this case, I won't overwrite it, but you just need to go into each one of those files and select them and then click open, and it will automatically install. After you have installed all the files, you can go right over here on the search window, and if not, you may click on the local templates folder. If it's not yet selected, you can select it, and then in the search panel we can search for CMS and press enter. And now all the files we have imported will appear right over here. Those are all the templates we will use in this broadcasting ID. Alright, so those are all the assets. Let me drag this slide over here just so we can see better. So let's see what assets we are working with. We have an intro, we have an image insert, we have a lower third, we have an outro, a section title, a text and image showcase, a text insert, and a transition. Some of them are a bit more adjustable than others, but each one of them follows strictly all the rules from the CMS regulation for video production. So in our timeline, let's first import a video right over here. Let's see this handsome businessman we have created from any stock footage we have. So we now may import any of these assets we have directly into our timeline. How can we do this? Just click and drag. So let's start with the intro, all right? It will load the motion graphics template. In some cases, it may take a while, but it won't take much longer. So we now have this CMS intro right over here. And if we press play, let's see what's happening. All right, we have our intro. And we can now put something under it, and it will seamlessly transition from the intro into the first clip. Let's see. All right, that's exactly what we want. But how can we change this title right over here? The first thing you need to do is to select the layer, all right? So after you select the CMS intro footage right over here, on the window we were using, the essential graphics has changed. It was on browse option, now it is on edit. And now we can edit this particular asset we have selected right over here. There are a bunch of options we can customize. Each one of them was coded just thinking of this package, all right? So it is not generic. It is coded thinking of this package. So the first thing we may want to change is the title. Every time you see a text, it's possible to change it. We have here the title and then insert title here. And in this box, we can change the text for anything we want really. So let's pretend to create something right here. CMS broadcasting ID template. And after we click out of the box, it automatically updates to whatever we have typed in the box. So if we go back and see the animation again, you see that it automatically adjusts with the animation. So we can do that also for the subheading title. So let's pretend we have something right here, the tutorial for Premiere Pro. All right. After we click out of the box, it automatically updates. So we have now a bunch of options we can use to customize this title right over here. The first being the position, all right? So we can change the position if we don't actually like the way it is displaying, because sometimes maybe you can type other lines right here. So let's see CMS broadcasting ID, and then let's press enter and go to template. And it created another line, but you see that it's way down what we may want. So we can go to the position property right over here and drag it up, all right, until it's pleasant for our eyes. The same goes for the size. For instance, we can make it a little smaller and a little bigger if we want to. Maybe we have a bigger title and we need to make the text smaller. So we can drag the size right over here. And also we can change the subheading position right over here. Sometimes we may want to give it a little bit more of space. It doesn't have all the control because it is constrained into this area right over here. So it is adjustable, but it doesn't run out of design. It remains inside the originally planned design. All right, we have another option right here. It is to enable subheading. If we click on this checkbox, it will deactivate the subheading. All right, and now we have just the main title. Sometimes that's what we need. Sometimes we need this subheading also. So we can adjust this for whatever we like, and it will automatically adjust with the animation. All right. So what else we can do with this intro? We can have right here another option. If we just leave it as it is, it will transition from the intro into the first clip. But what if we want a section title before the first clip, like a first question or something like that? We can enable this option right over here, transition to section title. So what happens now? Let's see. Let's play the intro and see what happens. All right. And then we go to the footage. It transitions in from the intro into the section title directly. All right. So then from the section title, it goes to the first clip. It's just an option for the intro. All right. We now have the option to change this section title right over here. Let's click on section title options. And then we have a bunch of other options we can change. So we can change the section title. Let's see the first. Let's put first question right over here. So we have the first question. It automatically updates. All right. It automatically goes with the animation. It doesn't change anything. We can also change the subheading. So let's put a question right over here. How to use this template with Premiere Pro. All right. So this is the first question. So we have some options right here. Maybe the section title position we may change. So it have a lot of room right over here. Let's go back to 0. I can click on this number and go back to 0. This is because sometimes if we type more than one line, let's see, first question, the most important one. All right, so we have 2 lines in the main title. And now it's a little bit off from what we want. And now we can change it with this section title position slider right over here until it's what we like, and all the animations will follow just like it should. All right, so what else we can have in this we have now an option from enable and disable the subheading in this particular section title right over here. So what else do we have? How can we customize this a little bit more? So we have a really great option right over here. If you go down to the instructions right over here, we have this italic and bold options. So this is not natural for Premiere Pro. In Premiere Pro, sometimes when you, in fact, all the times when you create a motion graphic template, you can't change one word for some specific style. So let's say I have this this phrase right over here, first question, the most important one. So let's say I want to highlight the important word right here. If we are using the natural Premiere Pro, it won't be possible. because Premiere Pro only allows motion graphics templates to highlight entire phrases, entire lines. So we can't highlight each word specifically. And it's really bad this, because it may be important a lot of times. So if we want to highlight this broadcasting ID in italic, maybe sometimes we will need to use this. How can we do this? So in this template, it has a lot of coding and JavaScript, and it has actually a feature that we can change only one word and highlight only one word. How can we do this? Well, we can use this instruction right over here. So we just need to use HTML notation. It means every time we want to use italic, we need to put these characters before the text, and then those characters after the text we want to highlight. Let's see in the how can we do this by eye. All right, so let's say we have the CMS broadcasting ID template. How can I make the broadcasting ID in italic? It's pretty simple. Let's make this character, press E and close with this other character right over here. I don't know how to call this character in English, I'm sorry, but it's like a minus character. All right, and then for the closing, we see that you can see that we open it, the italic, so everything that goes after this these characters right over here will go on italic until we close it. How can we close this? Let's press the slash and then I again, and then close with the more sign or something like that. All right, so everything that's inside those two comments right over here will be on italic. Let's see, let's click out of the box. All right, so this is how we can use italic style or bold style inside Premiere Pro, inside motion graphics templates in Premiere Pro. It won't be available in all motion graphics templates. In fact, in most of them, it won't be possible. It is only programmed and coded for this particular template right over here. All right. So because of this, let me just show you how can, before I continue the talk, let me just show how can we do the bold option. So we have made italic, and if we press B instead of I, it will go bold. All right, so let's press B and then click out. All right, it's bold now. All right, so in order for Premiere Pro to render this, it may take a lot of processing, and a lot of the software will be decreased in quality, in performance. All right, so this is why we have this warning right over here. Adding a text style, italic or bold, may decrease preview performance. All right, so if we add a lot of them, it will render normally. You don't have to worry, but you may find some lags while trying to preview the footage right over here on the spot. All right, so just because it requires a lot of coding and a lot of JavaScript, it has one bug, one error we may encounter right in this template over here, which is if we try to apply this italic or bold font in the section title heading. All right, it will work normally for this title over here, or if we go to the subheading title right over here, it will work normally and perfectly. But in this particular title right over here, and in the only section title we need, it will create a little bug. Let me show you. So in the first question, let's pretend I need to highlight the important word. So let's go with the, open this kind of bracket right here, press I, and then after the important word, let's close it with the slash I again and close this thing. All right, so let's click out of the box, and this happens. It doesn't have a reason, but it happens because the coding is really heavy and JavaScript sometimes may cause this error. All right, so how can we correct it? In fact, there's actually just a slider for this, bug correction. We may drag it until it's enough for our eyes. All right, sometimes it will go upper, sometimes it will go lower. We just need to correct it until it's fine, and then it will be completely normal. All right, if we play this again, let's see how it happens. All right, perfectly fine. All right, and goes to the first clip. Another option we have in this asset right over here, we have this inverted colors option. What this does is we have these colors right over here. If we click this, all right, it goes inverted. Okay, so let's see from the beginning how it looks. Okay, so it is all inverted colors. All right, that's all for this asset right over here. We may now delete it, and let's jump into another one. Let's drag our footage to the start again. All right, I think that's the start. So let's go to browse on our Essential Graphics panel again, and let's go to another option we have. Let's see, let's create only a section title. All right, so we have created an intro and then added a button for the section title. But what if we are in the middle of the video and we just want a section title? Let's drag it right over here, CMS section title. All right, so if we play this, let's see how it goes. In fact, actually, let's create maybe a video to transition from this clip to another. So let's choose another young businessman succeeding. Maybe this clip, it's good. I don't know what it is. I don't recall, but let's see how it goes. All right, let's put it right in the middle actually. Okay, let's play. So there it goes, the section title, and then it transitions to the second clip. All right, so in this section title right here, if we click it in the asset, we have the same options we had on the other section title. All right, but this time we don't have the intro, it's just the section title. We can change the title, we can change the subheading, we can enable and disable the subheading text, we can change the position, and we have the bug correction right here because it happens on every one of these section titles right here, but just on this particular asset, the section title. So we have the inverted colors option again, and again we have the information. Next asset. All right, let's delete this one. Let's go to the browse, and now let's try to add this image insert right over here. All right, so we may now want to see how it goes. Let's go play. All right, it opens the image and then closes it. Okay, how can we change this? Again, we're using this this window right over here. It's pretty straightforward. We click on this and then we can choose a lot of options for this particular asset right here. We can go from left to right, all right, and then we can choose if we want this coming from the right or the left. Let's see how it goes from the right. All right, the same thing. And we can invert the colors too. We have this white over here, so let's see how it goes from the left. Okay, we have this white color, white or green, left or right, and then you can choose the principal thing, which is the picture. All right, how can you choose the picture? First, you need to choose whatever side you have chosen previously. If you choose left, go to the left menu right here, left image file. If you have chosen right, you go to the right image file right over here. So let's choose left, go to the left image file. And how can we change this image right here? You go to this menu right over here, this little option, and then replace in this replace from Explorer. All right, so let's click on this and it will open the Explorer in your computer for you to search the right image. All right, so let's go to the stock images and let me choose an image right here. Let me choose this one. I think that's good enough. All right, it will take a while and then update, but it's a little bit off. And how can we change this to go just the way we want? There's no need to worry. We can just double click on this box right here where we see the image in the Essential Graphics panel. Let's double click it. And then now we can change for whatever we want. We can change the position, we can change the scale, we can change even the rotation of the image. All right. So let me choose a little bit to the left and let's see how it goes. I go back to the to our main sequence right over here. Let me close this. And let's see how it goes. Oh, a lot better now. All right. So if we may still need to change something, let's double click it. And now I want this to be upside down. All right. I want this upside down. I want this to be way to the left, right here. And let's see how it goes. Let me close this. Go to our main sequence right here. And there it goes. It's upside down, just the way we have put it. All right. So this is how you import an image into this this graphic right over here. All right. If you need to, you can replace the image. So let's replace it for another thing. And let's put this time. Let's choose anything really. Let me choose this image right here, and it automatically updates. I think that's actually fine the way it is right here. And let's drag a little bit to the left. Okay, close. And it's perfect. All right. So this is how you change an image. Right? Let me choose the right color right over here. Let's delete it and choose the next asset. All right. The next asset we have, it's the lower third asset. So this lower third asset, it's probably the most heavy one. Why? So if we click on the lower third, we have only a few options. And why it's so heavy, this particular lower third? Let's see how it goes. All right. Did you see that it has lagged a bit at the end? So what's the thing with this lower third? It is totally automatic. It is total auto adjustable. We don't have to do almost anything. It will adjust automatically for itself. So let's say we have a name right here called John Doe. So John Doe is it isn't a big name, so it will take the the minimum space possible for this lower third, which is half of the screen. All right, if we go here and check the safe margins, it will take exactly half of the screen until the end of the title section. All right, so what if we have a bigger name? Let's say John Doe and Smith, and I don't know actually a lot of English names, but let's say John Doe Smith Silva Oliveira. All right, so this actually goes outside our limit, but it automatically increases. All right, and the animation accompanies, goes together. All right, so it won't affect the animation, it won't affect the ending, it will automatically adjust for everything. So we have, if we have a big name right over here, it will go automatically with this name. All right, so what if we have a really big name? All right, so it will show us an error. All right, it is not actually an error, it is actually a warning for the editor to remove some characters because it surpasses the limit of our title safe area. If we go to the safe margins, all right, it only goes to the safe area. So this makes sure the text always appear for everyone, all right, using any particular television or anything like that. So if we decrease a little this name right over here, let's go just really big, just really big. All right, so it goes until the maximum of the safe area. And this lower third also automatically detects if the description is bigger than the name, or the name is bigger than the description, and it goes according with what you are typing. All right, so we have also the text styles. All right, we can type italic or bold just like every other text in this package. All right, we have also another option right here. It's called adjustment. In most cases, you don't want to use this option right here, the adjustment option. This is because this is the right size we may want the design to fit. It goes according to the CMS video production guidelines, and it looks good, it looks pretty. But what if we may want to add more lower thirds to this scene right here? So if we add 2 lower thirds, it may look a little bit gross and really big right here. It's best for us to use only 1 lower third at a time. But if we really need to use 2 lower thirds, we can use this adjustment slider over here. We may adjust it to go a little bit I'm sorry, a little bit smaller right here. Do you see? So if we go with this smaller lower third right over here, we can actually copy and paste it, and then we will have I'm sorry, let me drag another one. I'm not so good with Premiere Pro than with After Effects, but we can actually now use this other lower third right here. Let me use the adjustment also, and then in the position we can leave it a little bit up. All right, so now we may have 2 lower thirds, and we can add as many as we want, but it won't look good if it's full size. With this adjustment, it looks a little bit a little bit less. All right, let's change this name right here to a normal name, and you can see that it's good enough. All right, but it's best if you only have one lower third. All right, you can either even change a little bit the lower third from the bottom. You can use whatever you want. All right, so if we see it, all the animations will go just as smoothly as possible. All right, but it takes a lot of work to Premiere to render this code. But when you render this final file, it won't have any lags. It will be perfect. All right, so we have one more thing about the lower third. Let's add a fresh one right over here, and this is important. All right, so I have this lower third right here, and we can also use this lower third to display captions and display foreign language translation. How can we do this? If we enable this captions only feature right over here, it will increase the size, and now we can actually create captions inside this this box right over here. If we go and press play, it will create a lower third with a white box, all right, to the right size. How can we create a caption right here? We actually have a created style created only for this package, a caption style. If we go to the folders and go to other files right here, you may see this CMS captions right over here. What can we do with this? So let's click it and drag it to our project window. All right, we now have it right over here. So now we can create captions for this video right over here, and it will automatically adjust with this lower third size and colors and font and everything inside the CMS design. First, to create a caption, let's go to Window, Workspaces, and let's go to the Captions. Captions Workspaces, it will open this window right over here, Captions. And if we create a new caption track right over here, we can choose Subtitle, and on Style, we have the CMS Captions. This is because we have imported this file into the project. So if we click in CMS Captions and press OK, it will apply this CMS Captions style to any caption we create. So if we want to create a caption right over here, let's drag it a little bit to the right and then click on Add New Captions segment. It will create this caption right over here, and you can see that it has the font used by the CMS design and has the right right size. It has the right alignment with this lower third. We can actually type right here anything. So let's pretend we are translating foreign language. All right. So we now have everything needed for the editor to create captions inside this lower third and with the right design. All right. So let's exclude all of this. Let me delete this track of captions right over here. We don't want this now. So let's delete this. Oh, and one thing that's really important, if you want to drag anything, you can, and it won't affect the animation. So if you extend the size of this lower third, you can extend it as much as you want. It won't affect the intro animation for this lower third, and it won't affect the outro animation. All right, this applies not only for the lower third, but for any asset in this package. All right, the intro, the transition, the image sequence, and everything else. Let's go back to our graphics workspace. All right, just so we can see a little bit better. And now let's see, we have already covered the image insert, the intro, the lower third, the section title. Let's now create a text and image showcase. All right, so let's drag it right over here. All right, it may, okay, so let's wait for it to load a little bit. And now we have this CMS text and image showcase. Let's see how it goes. All right, and then transition to the next clip. So in this text and image showcase, we can highlight words and we can highlight an image. All right, so how can we change that? Just as we have changed everything else. I don't know why my Premiere Pro is doing this, but it's normal now. All right, so if we click on the text and image showcase, go to the Essential Graphics window, we have again the choose image file option right here. We can go right from replace from Explorer and choose any image we may want. All right, let's choose this one. Let's see how it goes. All right, we can now double click it right here, add it a little bit. Let me go right over here. Let's see how it goes. I think that's good enough. All right, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, I think that's good enough for what I want. So there you go. We have put a customizable image inside this asset right over here. So it will appear with our image. Let's press play and see what happens. All right, this is the transition. So we now have also the option, let me close this option right here. We have now the option to use the text showcase. All right, so we can change the text for whatever we want right here. Insert any text here. It can be quotes, it can be short texts. It's good for big images and short texts. All right, so let's pretend we have something right here to say. Just a quote. All right, so this is just a quote right over here. And now we can actually type more than one line. All right, so just a quote. Said John Doe. All right, so this is just a quote. So now we also have the option to change this this kind of layout right here. You can see there's a big space right here. There's a lot smaller image. What if we want to show much more of this image right here? Well, we can go on size right here and click on small text. All right, so it will appear more of the image, and the text will also have a lot more we can add. We have more space to add text because it goes smaller. All right, so just a quote, John Doe. You can actually type anything you want in this space. All right, so this is the image and text showcase. You can position it to the right also, and it will change. All right, change the direction, the position. You can go back to big text. All right, and you can change it to whatever you want. So we also have the enable inverted colors right over here. All right, if we activate this, all the animation will change the colors. So from white it will go to green, and from green here it will go to white. All right, so after the text goes out, it is actually just to give a little bit of text. There's no need for much information. It's just to highlight the image, and it will go a little bit more focused on the image right here. You can see that after the text goes out, it stays a little with the image in full screen, just to highlight that image. All right, and my Premiere Pro have, all right, it goes back to the image, and then it goes to the next clip. All right, it can work as a transition. It's just as great as a transition, this file right here. So let's go to another file, another asset right here. Actually, for talking about transition, let's use the transition file. So the transition file, it's probably the most difficult one. It has a lot of features that we don't have in Premiere, but we can trick Premiere to make something good. So what's the problem? When we have these motion graphics templates, it's not possible to change from one scene to another just by the click of the template. Just like we drag sometimes a crossfade or something like that. We don't have this option, but we can trick After Effects to make it work. All right, how can we do this? So if we go play with this transition, it just doesn't work. It goes right here, and then right at the middle it cuts, but it's not exactly what we want. All right, we want the transition to happen seamlessly while happening in this area right here. I'll show you how. So how can we use this transition? It has a little trick. It has the instructions right over here, but let's do it on the spot right here so we can see how it goes. First of all, we have the options for the side. We can go from right to left or left to right. Let's choose the right one, and we have the inverted colors option. Let's keep it with green and the right size. The first thing we need to do is duplicate this transition. So let's put one on top of another. All right, so we have two transitions right over here. The second one, I haven't chosen the left side, so let me put exactly like the first one with the right side. All right, so we have right side over here, we have right side over here, and we have one on top of the another. So now, how can we use this to transition from this clip to the other one? The first thing we need to do actually is go with these clips up, and then also with this clip, let's put one on top of another. Okay, so now we have this clip being surpassed by this transition right over here. We can go now to the first transition. We have stacked, and on type, let's create a matte. All right, so in this matte right over here, you have seen that it has this weird red shape. All right, if you see this actual transition right over here, it has changed from this transition to a matte. All right, so let me toggle the track again on, and now we can use this matte, this red area right over here, to tell Premiere Pro that we want this image to be inside this red circle right over here. How can we do that? Let's select the image we want to apply. All right, we want to enter the scene with. So let's select this image and go to our effects panel, not the effect controls panel, but the effect panel. It might be over here on effects. If you don't find it, you go on window and then effects right over here. And on the effects window, let's search for key matte, track matte key. That's what we want. So let's drag it to our footage right over here, not to the transition, but to the footage. All right, so we have the footage right over here, and we have applied the track matte key on the effect controls. Now you can go on window, effect controls, you will see the effect we have applied, the track matte key. So we go on matte, and then now on this matte layer, we will choose the exact same matte we have chosen. We have put in this transition. Let's click on matte and video 3. All right. So if we put exactly like this, we have put this image, this video right over here, and then put a track matte key, and then selected the track matte, which is this red one we have. The red will disappear, and now we have a seamlessly transition. Let's press play and see what happens. All right, this is a beautiful transition. So this is kind of a little bit more difficult. It's for experienced professionals and experienced editors. All right, but if you do it a couple of times, you will get used to it. All right, so this is how we can use this transition. Another way to use this transition, it's just to do what we have done. All right, just put it on top and transition in the middle, but it's not as pretty. All right, and it looks a little bit weird. Let me just change from matte to transition, and it looks a little bit weird. All right, let's see how it goes. But it's one kind of transition. You can do this if you want to, but this is meant to be done in the way that I have shown. All right, so let's go into another asset we have over here, the text insert. All right, so the text insert, actually it's an awesome asset. All right, because it has a lot of options we can customize. All right, so if you first play, let's take a look of how it looks. All right, so if you first see it, it may look a little bit strange, but we have a lot of options with these 3 kind of paragraphs over here, and we actually have more than this type of paragraph. If we click on this on the asset right over here and go to the edit option on our essential graphics panel, this is the most we have more configurations in this asset than in any other one. This is because it can leave us with big liberty to put whatever we want in this text box right over here. So how it works? Well, actually it has 4 sizes. The first one, it's the smaller text right over here. We can enable and disable it in this bottom right over here. We can change the position for this from this small this small text right over here until any of the box. All right, so we can change from everywhere. And we have the middle text, the same thing. We can change the image in any way we want. All right, and we have also the big text right over here. We can enable and disable it and go with all the box. All right, so we have those 3 options, and we have also a 4th option right over here. It's the huge text. It's actually huge, so let me disable this other one so you can see it. All right, so this is the huge text. It also goes from all the sides. All right, so this is meant actually to be alone, this huge text, but you can also use it with other texts if you want to. There's no problem with that. All right, So we have a lot of options. So let's say we want to create a title, maybe 2 paragraphs, and maybe a little notation at the end. How can we do this? So let's create a big text right over here. We can choose the option to go right at the up right here, and we can change the text right here on big text. So let's create a title of book. All right, this is the title of the book. This guy is quoting right now. So we have the title of the book, and we can enable the middle text right over here, and we can actually add any paragraphs as much as we need. All right, we can add a lot of paragraphs. In fact, I have searched a little bit for a loading $Y text right here, just so we can have something to write over here. So let me put this text right over here and see how it goes. All right, we have a lot of text. Do you see? So we can actually go with this one. Let me just delete the last one. We don't need this other one right here. All right, so we have a lot of text, and we can customize it to look whatever we want to, in the size we want to, in the place we want to. So we can actually go with enable the smaller text now, and actually type something right over here at the end. Let me type reference of the author or something like that. All right, we have the reference of the author, we have the title of the book, we have the paragraphs at the middle. So this is everything we need in order to customize and create any text we want. All right, so after we have done the text we want, we can go and press play. And now the animation will appear, all right, just as we need. It has the options to make italic and bold fonts also. So we can make this title of book. Let's make it bold. Let's create a bold text right over here following the instructions. And we can reference the author with italic. So let's create an italic font right over here at the end. All right, so we have a bold font, normal paragraphs, and italic smaller text at the end. All right, it doesn't have to be this order. You can do whatever you want. All right, so you also have another thing that's really great, that is this guide over here. Why we have this guide? If we click this, it will open this red box, and we can see the margins we have to write with this text. It is better for us if you just write inside this red box over here. Why? Because it is aligned with the safe margins. All right, so you can see that everything is inside the safe margins of text. All right, so you can see it on any television, on any actual monitor, and everything else. Just don't forget to deactivate this guide before you render the video. All right, so you can deactivate it after you have aligned everything, and it will perfectly fit. All right, so we have other options with this source text, with this this text box right over here. We can choose the position. You can go to the left, all right, or you can go to the center of the video, and it will automatically go and adjust, all right, the animations and everything else. You can also enable inverted colors, all right, so it goes green and the text go white. You can go to the right and to the left and so on and so on, all right. So this also applies to the guide. The guide also follows if you choose the left and the center. It's also, everything is aligned. So this is the text, the text insert, all right. So let's now go to the last asset we have. Finally, the last asset we have is the outro, all right. The outro, it's pretty straightforward. We hashed it, we drag it down. It also has sound just like the intro. And if we see the outro, let's see how it goes right over here. Let me drag this under here and let's see how it goes. All right, so this is the outro. In the outro we have fewer options than we have in other assets because it's pretty straightforward. All right, let me deactivate the sound right here just so we can play around. And with the outro we have some options like enable the call to action text. All right, so if we deactivate it, I'm sorry, my Premiere must have crashed it, but all right, it goes now. So if we deactivate it, it goes just like it should. It deactivates the call to action. Let's play it. All right, the call to action, it's just this little text around right here, and now it's activated. We can change the call to action text. We can change the position of the call to action text a little bit. This is because if you change the size, the scale, it may need adjustment in the position, all right? So we can adjust both of them, all right? And you can actually enable inverted colors for this outro also. So let's see how it goes with inverted colors. All right. And then it fades to black. And this is the final asset we have. We can actually apply bold or italic to it just as well. All right. Let's apply a little bold to this text. All right. So my Premiere Pro is actually lagging a little bit, but everything, it's just the way you need to. So let's insert anything right here. And you can see that all the assets were made to simplify, but also give a lot of customizable options to the editor. So I hope you have understood how to use each one of the files. If you need any help, just let me know, all right?